AI, modern work, security.
We'll unravel it for you.
Hey everybody, welcome to Technically Unraveled. My name is Kristen Behrenbach. I am the Senior Director here of Microsoft Go-to-Market at PAX8. So first off, thank you so much for tuning in, but I do want to make sure that you like, share, subscribe, because while myself and David Powell, we've got some really cool stuff that's going to be coming your way on Technically Unraveled. We also have the game and Academy. You don't want to miss out on all of that. So I'm super, super excited for all these different shows to kind of take their own. But man, a lot of different topics coming your way from all these different people. So want to make sure we always see you during the week on any of those shows. Now, we got a lot of stuff coming your way this little quick 30 minutes, but we are going to try to get through everything because here on TU, we cover all things AI, modern work, and cybersecurity. So this week, Juan Fernandez, channel chief at SuperOps, he is going to come. We're going to talk all things AI-powered PSA-RMM platform and how they're really revolutionizing the business worldwide. So couple cool things we're going to start out with. We're going to talk about service ops services and features. We're going to talk about how they're really breaking the mold of some of those older legacy tools and how are they really changing it for service delivery, asset management, and so on. We're also going to hit on power of automation for MSPs. I know we are just in this AI-driven world, so having an AI-driven platform that's really helping businesses do more with fewer resources is going to be key. Last but not least, and obviously we'll have a little bit of back and forth in there, but we're going to talk about SuperOps and Microsoft synergy. You guessed it. Of course, we're going to talk things Microsoft while I'm here, but I think it's a really nice better together story and how do we boost efficiency and overall performance. So without a further delay, I am super excited to welcome you, Juan. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us today. Bam, there he is. How you doing today? Oh no, I can't hear you. Hold on. Somebody in the background's clicking a button. Now.
Hi, what's going on?
We got it. It's a
We
live
did it.
show. I like it. So, Juan, thank you so much for being here. But tell me just maybe who you are. I know we've hung out a couple times at this point,
We
but tell
have.
everybody else who you are, what do you do at SuperOps, and maybe a fun fact about yourself.
Yeah, no worries. And it's a pleasure to be here, Kristen. And I'm really excited again. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you and to be able to have some fun, but also talk about how we're actually helping the industry and moving MSPs forward. A little bit about me is I am the channel chief for SuperOps. So I am the one that really focuses on the success of the MSPs and really, understands and listens to the MSPs and helps us here at SuperOps digest that information and actually come back and help tool and build and also work with the platform to make sure that it's meeting the needs of our customers. So really excited to be championing and being here at SuperOps and being able to take this to the channel. So, and to be honest with you, I'm really excited to be on this show because we're going to talk about the Better Together story today. Now, before I do, I think you asked for a fun fact. Now, I don't know what I'm going to have to pull out of my bag of fun facts, but I got a number of them. I would say that I think my fun fact, and maybe we even share a little bit about this, is I love music, and a lot of the music that I love, a lot of people think that I might listen to like jazz or something along those lines. And to be honest with you, I'm actually a huge EDM fan. So I love electronic dance music. I think that I don't know if I grew up a little late in terms of time, but I feel like that's my vibe. So that's my fun fact. A big EDM fan here today.
I love EDM music as well. So that's quite a fun fact. It's always kind of like, feel like before we dive into, how synergies between companies, like we got to get to know you a little bit, Juan. So
Yeah,
I like that fun fact because you're going to be at Berlin. I feel like we can make this happen. We'll make something happen at Beyond
we might
Berlin here.
actually have
So
to do a small dance routine to like maybe a really energetic song.
it's a
I think
date.
we
I
figured it
like it.
out. I think we got this.
Good stuff. All right. So, SuperOps. I want to
Yeah.
just kind of unpack what are the features and services that you guys
Yeah.
offer at SuperOps?
I think one of the things, and again, we at SuperOps, one of the main things and the thesis behind SuperOps is to be a modern managed services platform. And I think, we talk in terms of, in this space, people hear about the term RMM PSA, and we think about the tools that we've been using for a long time. And when we think about innovation, right, and we think about the future of managed services, we thought about it a little bit differently. And what we have implemented into the SuperOps product is intelligent automation, intelligent learning, project management, device management, IT documentation, side conversations, run books, reporting, service desk, patch management, Windows management. I mean, we went all the way in to try to figure out how do MSPs need to service the modern customer? And so that's really a little bit about super ops and all of those things baked together in a single easy to use platform with all the latest and greatest tools as well as the great integrations that we have, I think are really why there's a testament to success in terms of us and our partnership with not only Pax8 but also with Microsoft. And I'm really, really, really excited to have MSPs that are really diving in and looking at the future and saying, where's it been? And so I think that that's really a fun moment for me because I, as being a previous MSP, realized the challenges that come along with that territory. And so it's an honor to be a part of it. And it's a really awesome opportunity. And I think the tool speaks for itself in terms of how it delivers success for MSPs.
Man, okay, so you were an MSP.
I
Now you're the
was.
channel chief. You do nothing but you talk to MSPs. So I think it's fair to say you really understand the channel and you know resources can be a little tight. And so
Mhm.
I think it's so interesting because your company does such a great job at automation. And I know you brought some slides along with you so that way we could kind of talk through it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I really just kind of want to dive in because that's a really big concern right now out there in the community.
Yeah, and I think, when you're thinking about, and we talk about this all the time, it's the operation of, you know, business operations as a service, if you will, versus problem operation, right, of the past. And so when we think about and how we're building the product and how we're serving the modern managed service provider, we're looking at trying to solve very different problems, right? And I think that to your point, automation is a key to that. And as automation becomes prevalent, how do we still stay human centric, but using automation to benefit not only ourselves, but our customer? And that's where I think we dive into a little bit about the current integrations between Microsoft and SuperOps, because some of the things that we currently do were in that thought process, right? So, and we look at the first, type of integration that we have here is Azure Active Directory integration. You talked about resources being thin, you know, end user management's fairly complex and difficult when you have to continuously switch between and go in and out and jump in and out of things. And what we've done is we've definitely thought that through and looked at and listened to the MSP partner and said, what is it that you really need to do? And so with that, here's just a few bullets. And we talk a little bit about enabling the seamless identity and access management within the SuperOps platform, and really truly thinking about the outcome is simplifying the end user administration, right? And making sure that we have central user access and management. Now, when you think about those, I call it a death of a thousand cuts. Every second that you're moving between things, it just creates more and more and more and more pain. And time is money in the managed services industry. So the more seconds that we lose in time, the more money it costs us to deliver that support. And so when we think about that, we're really focused on the outcome of delivering really quick and effective use of time. And so that's how we think about our integrations as well, and really making sure that we're doing it securely. And that's the last point here by, improving security with single sign on and enhanced RBAC, right? And so all these things are looking toward how to help MSPs become more efficient, more effective. And again, back to your point, become a lot more resourceful and just natural in their process for supporting their customer.
And not having to like hustle around, switch from here to here, and just being able to people just don't realize how long it takes when you're flipping from system to system. So that's a super
Yeah.
interesting one. And I mean, improving security, we're always continuing to raise the tide. And I think that this is so important, especially in the world that we live in today. We've got AI coming in, we've got all these different things. So I really love that last point. I think that Matt, Lee, and Dom somewhere are looming. Very excited that we're talking about all things security too.
Oh yeah, you know that to be true. I often talk to Matt and Dom about it. I actually pointed out a security opportunity earlier with Dom, and he's like, "Good catch, Juan." So it's we're always thinking forward in that term and trying to protect the modern world.
I like it. I like it. So let's see. We talked about Azure, but you also have other integrations. It's not
Yeah.
just Azure all up.
No, no, we absolutely do. And one of the things that I think that everyone really enjoys is, for those of us and those MSPs out there that are using Office and Microsoft productivity tools, our integration with Outlook, right? And I think that this is probably the one where they love the most, right? It connects directly with our SuperOps platform directly through and into Microsoft Outlook. And it's really one of the things here when you think about it is how we integrate it, right? It facilitates the email and the calendar events and the tasks and everything moving back and forth within the service tickets to deliver appointments within our platform. So if there's a dispatcher that's actually, managing these things, they can actually see the calendar. And that's the same feeling for the end user, right? So the technician that may be using it. And in the later slides, when we exit today, I'll show you a little bit about what that looks like. But, when you think about that, so many MSPs spend so much time in their PSA platform only to go back into their email, to send an email, to go and get it out to their customer. And then when they have a communication chain back and forth, sometimes they either decide to put that information back in the ticket or they don't. And that oftentimes leads to a very interesting service delivery, because if I have to pass that ticket to someone else, I may not know what you said. And with this now, not only can you seamlessly send that information back and forth, but now you can also schedule time. So one of the other issues that we heard about was syncing calendars natively between platforms,
Mhm.
and not having the ability to do that was a huge hindrance. And I remember that being an experience that I had back in my days, because I was a Office Productivity Suite user from back in the early days as well. That was probably the biggest thing, was that the calendar doesn't sync and the tool didn't actually sync to the mobile device. So it was kind of like this huge gap between the two. And so we really listened to that to make sure that we can enhance the productivity between not only the end user but also the customer, so that if they're setting time inside of somebody's calendar, it can be available. So we thought about that inside of our platform to make sure that that was a mainstay. And it's probably one of the things that we've heard the most feedback in terms of some of our Microsoft integrations that they truly enjoy.
Yeah. And I mean, if we could just make it easy, right? Like people, they want to do a good job, but
Yeah.
man, if I'm going to make you sign in here, do a thumbprint here, and like try to figure out all these other things, but if it's all in one spot and I can
Yep.
just go and update my tickets and say, hey, the customer is having this problem, XYZ, bam, it's all in one location, I'm probably going to do it a little bit more, right?
Yeah. You're right.
All right. All
And
right.
that's where I
So,
think we're again back to reducing friction. I think that that's a big component. And again, if you think about the compound of all of this time, and you look at the total number of tickets and the time lost inside of an MSP, those numbers are pretty drastic. And so when we think about these things, we think about time to revenue, time to profitability. And with SuperOps and the integrations that we have, such as these, your revenue outcome is much shorter with us, and your profitability is much higher and a lot quicker because of these things. So, it's all about time and money.
time is money. I like it. So, we've got Azure, we've got Outlook. I know
Yep,
that there's also an OS integration.
there is. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the big things here is, integrating with asset level for device monitoring and patch management. So many times we've heard that MSPs, they may integrate, but they only integrate at a top level, and they integrate at the user level, but they don't always integrate at the asset level. And with this, now that we give the MSP the ability to manage assets in a granular fashion, so that they can provide monitoring and also management and scripting and using third-party applications to push into these assets. And that's where we can push ongoing security updates to them directly without actually having to batch them. They're individual, especially now in the case that it's not everyone coming into an office. They're all distributed remotely. So there's a lot going on here in terms of it. And I think that it's giving the MSP a lot more granular approach to delivering service.
Man. Okay. So we're not just looking at it through one scope. And I think that's what's so important as, MSPs, they're managing so many things. I mean, this isn't just Microsoft. They've got all these other areas. And so like bringing everything together, I can see such value. So obviously, I'm on our Microsoft team here at Pax8. I feel like I live in my little Microsoft bubble. That's why I love talking to other vendors like you on. But there's a lot of synergy that's happening
Yeah.
between Microsoft and SuperOps. And so I really kind of want to dig in and how is this really a better together story?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. And in terms of thinking of how do we actually activate it, right? A lot of people say, great one, that's awesome. But how do I make money with that? Right. Yes, I may be able to save time, but how do I actually do it? And I think that, when you think about even in the case of like user onboarding, right? You have automation that you can deploy and you can automate, create, update, deactivate accounts based on ticket statuses, right? Now I'm actually able to automate things with not only just Microsoft, because Microsoft's an amazing product. It does a lot of things, but inside of the RMM PSA, there has to be some activators to tell it what to do in certain cases. And in this case, making sure that we have created scenarios that end users have the ability to go ahead and create these automations within our platform are really key in terms of a number of things. But user onboarding and offboarding is a huge thing, right? Like what happens when a new user comes in inside of SuperOps, we can set up run books that actually queue the automations to say, hey, this new user came in, a new email came into the system, and now we need to approve that email. And that email is automatically going to get sent to somebody that's on the approval list. They're going to reply back. The automation is going to keep stepping down the process to automatically do a lot of these things, which gives them a new opportunity. Instead of all these manual injection points, now we have these automation run points.
I'm already here. Like I'm already in for it. The automation, the security, we're talking about efficiency. Like
Yep.
I'm liking it. But tickets. Talk to
Oh
me about
yeah.
tickets.
Yeah, that's the big thing with tickets, I think that's the lifeblood of the managed services. We talk about two things, right? There's business operation and managed services, and then there's problem operation. And one of the things that we're, been doing for so many years is operating problems, and most of them come from, the end user perspective, right? And it's just, and a lot of it is we have to educate the end user. And during that time when they don't know what they're doing, or maybe they're struggling through an issue, or there's a system problem, or something's happening, tickets arise. And one of the things that we really like is that we give the MSP the ability to actually solve tickets really quickly. So in the case that Microsoft OS generates alerts, it automatically generates SuperOps tickets from inside of Microsoft 365, whether it be a security alert or a user activity or a system warning, something that comes out of it, we actually queue upon it so that you can actually resolve for it fairly quickly. Now, if you set up an automation and you said, hey, if this happens, automatically do this, now we're actually gaining you time, right? It's not somebody's having to actually respond to it, but now you can set up
Mhm.
automation to actually resolve for it. And that's where the balance of and the dance happens between Microsoft and SuperOps, is that we are doing a balancing act of opportunities here and saying, okay, issue A, resolution B. Go ahead and do this, go ahead and do that based on this. And then if there's approvals like, hey, something happened, you need to know about this, you can set that up. And that's where we're really excited because, with that, you can know really quickly what's happening and really stay away from like security issues or potential breaches, or even in the case of system outages, like, right away. So your time to resolution is a lot faster, which makes sure that your SLAs or, any of the RPO or RTO opportunities are being met with your customer. And that's really essential to be able to deliver the next generation of service to the managed services customers. So we're excited about this. We really like this, and I know that a number of MSPs find value in it. So it's awesome to watch, and it's awesome to hear how well it
Jeez.
works for them.
I mean, like I've been having some internet issues, right? So like I log into my internet and I'm like trying to do this and I'm like, man, I'm not even like talking to anybody. I'm literally talking to this automated system. It's like click here,
Yeah.
click yes when it does this. I don't know. It fixed it, hopefully, unless I just randomly internet drops and we know it didn't work. But I didn't have to wait on anybody. I didn't have to sit on hold. I didn't have to do that. So like even the customer experience at the end of it, I'm happy. Nobody even had to pick up a phone to talk to me. So I can definitely see value in that for sure. But there's a lot of talk when we go into security, specifically when we start talking about Intune. There's device management, people work
Mhm.
from home. We've all got these cell phones that's got company data. So talk to me about how you guys integrate with Intune.
Yeah, one of the things, and this is something that is in the beginning stages, and we're actually building deeper integrations into this, is being able to sync device management and policies from Microsoft directly to SuperOps, and allowing customers to be able to report on that. And I think that as Intune starts to build itself out, we can leverage a lot of those opportunities by using some of the SuperOps tools and the run books, and be able to talk back and forth. And this is definitely somewhere we're spending quite a bit of time on, making sure that we're, taking advantage of everything that Intune can do, and allowing the MSP to be able to monitor and manage those devices. So this is a big thing. And one of the things here is making sure that we maintain a high level of security. And that's one of the things that we're very persistent about, is making sure that we're taking the right steps so that the MSPs, that when they activate these tools, that they're protected. One of the things that we're always cautious about is sometimes we have to protect ourselves from ourselves. And so with a lot
I
of
get
these,
link happy, okay? Sometimes emails go fast and I'm like, okay, I'll click it. And then I get an
yeah, yeah,
email
yeah.
from there and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, ugh. So I
Kristen,
hear you.
don't tell me you're that customer.
I mean, I don't want to be that customer, but sometimes accidents happen.
Now, this is do these accidents happen frequently, or is this like a
No,
one-off?
not frequently.
Okay, okay. We might have to have an intervention here if it was more than once
All
or
right.
twice.
Yep. No, no, we've only done it once. And that email scared me. And I said, okay, I'm gonna hover. I'm gonna see what the link is. I'm doing much better nowadays.
Love it. Well, see, and again, back to educating the end user, back to the automation. Now, the automation fed you the answer to the problem. The last step in a cyber incident
Yep,
is educating the end user. So you're smarter for it. So see, it works. I'm excited
it
about
does.
that.
I like it. So we've brought you in to the
Yeah.
Pax8 studio. We've locked you in here.
Locked in,
And you cannot,
literally.
yeah, you're locked in because I want you to give us all of the information about maybe future things that are coming. Like, what can we get excited about?
Yeah. And again, for everybody that's out there, I know that a lot of people have been following the SuperOps story, and again, obviously Microsoft and Pax8, these are innovative brands that are definitely changing the face of managed services and technology. And I will say, for those that are following the SuperOps story and that are joining us here today and in the future, there's a lot coming. And I would say I think I'm really excited about a lot of what we have on the table, and some of the ways that we're going to be diving into some of those things. But I think that one bigger one is our Azure Active Directory sync. These are things that we're looking at diving in. These are all on the roadmap to success here, and how we're going to deeper integrate with Microsoft is making sure that we can sync user and group management between Azure AD, and making sure that we have seamless identity management back and forth. So these are the types of things that we're focusing on. Again, a lot of our users are asking for these, and making sure, and we understand the benefits for it, right? We want to understand the steps that we're taking are the steps that bring benefit to our end user and our end user customer, so that we can help MSPs also explain the why. on how we do things. So yeah, Azure AD Sync is definitely something that we're looking at doing more with. Also, our email automation with Microsoft Outlook,
Okay.
sending alerts and reminders on tickets to customers through it. This is a big one for us. We want to make sure that we streamline that communication back and forth. Right now, we have an integration to sync certain things, but it's not a full mirrored sync back and forth. And so we want to make
Okay.
sure that we get that built out. So, Microsoft, a little love out there. We're gonna be building out this. So Microsoft will be getting quite a bit of love on making sure that we sync a little bit deeper. And I think the other one
Awesome.
is just diving deeper on our monitoring and reporting. You know, that's the next piece of the puzzle here that we're going to be pushing through. And I think we have a slide on that one. Uh, making
Let's
sure that
see. Monitoring.
there you go.
Yeah, we do.
And making sure that we generate performance and security reports. That's something that we do a little bit of, but we don't generate a ton of it. And that's where we're really making sure that we're going to centralize the reporting and making sure we're giving the unified view of all of their client systems in one place so that we can actually take a lot of what Microsoft is doing and all the wonderful stuff in each tenant and taking it and making it easy for them to digest. So this is one that I think will make a big impact. We have a lot of ideas around how we're going to make that work. And I think the next one is what I get a lot of requests for is making sure that we can do multi-factor authentication policy management. Uh, that's something that a lot of people ask for, so it's definitely on our things to do list, and we're really excited about making that happen. So it's a journey, but it's definitely one that we're on, and we're proud to be a part of it with you and also with Microsoft and Pax8 at our sides. So I know we do
Sweet.
have some pictures though.
Oh, okay, perfect. Because I'm like, man, now my like spidey senses are over here. I'm like, man, there's so many things that one you guys are already doing today,
Yeah.
but the continued innovation, like I think that's so important as a vendor, right? Like
Yeah.
Microsoft are continuing to innovate, SuperOps, you're continuing to innovate and keeping up with these changing times. So I'm super excited. So then, yeah, let's dive into Azure first.
Yeah, I think the big thing here, and I just wanted to just pop these up for everyone to see. And to your point, that's one of the things that we heard so much about was people were really sad about, other platforms not actually innovating fast enough. So in this case here, this is actual screenshot from within our platform showing end users how exactly they can integrate their Azure with our platform. And it's fairly straightforward and easy. And so this is a current integration for those that are actually not aware or don't have it activated currently in their platform. And they're like, man, I really want to know more about this now that Juan said something. By all means, jump into your platform, pop over and look at the integrations and add your information in so you can sync your Azure. So that's one of them. On the other side, if you saw something awesome and you wanted to take a look and activate your Outlook integration, this is the SuperOps view for your Outlook integration. This is what it looks like inside of our platform, syncing calendars back and forth. And the next slide, Kristen, actually is what it looks like inside of Outlook. So, yeah, it's there.
I'm
So the
not
proof's in the pudding.
duplicating efforts.
Hey, you put
Oh,
it in one
I
place
love
and it's
it.
going to be in the second place in both places. And that's where we're really excited because so many people said, hey, this is the one thing that is like a big challenge for us. So this is on. And then, the last but not least is our Defender integration. So as Defender is currently reporting information back, we actually have that in our platform so that MSPs can action on those things right away. And we're really excited to be able to have that initial integration, but obviously building deeper, further, and wider integrations into Defender is definitely something on the roadmap. But yeah, these are all the things, Kristen. I mean, there's so much to talk about, and even from the last time that we talked, we've added quite a few things. So I'm really excited about where we're at. And again, to your point, innovation is the road that we're on, and we're really moving down it quickly.
I am so excited to continue to have this conversation with you
Yeah,
as some of these features come out. So we're definitely going to have you back. But I mean, any final thoughts before we say goodbye? Because, like I said in the beginning, I was like, this 30 minutes is going to fly by.
I know, and we always have fun too. We didn't even play a song yet, but that
I
being
know.
said, I will say for those of you that are coming to Berlin and will see us there, keep the date marked because we have a really fun and special announcement coming out. So you'll have to follow. That's one of the things we're really excited about is being innovative, but also making announcements to illustrate how we're actually moving forward and helping the managed services industry move forward. So for those that are out there, feel free to connect on LinkedIn if you got any questions or we can be of a resource. Always happy to help. So that's my final thought, Kristen. Anything else on your side?
No, I just super appreciate your time, and I look forward to our dance off in Berlin.
Oh, are we doing a dance off? Is that what we just started? Oh, no.
Oh gosh.
I better get my
Good.
my
I look
shuffle
forward
step
to it.
lined up.
Yep, mine's not great, so I'll work on mine in the meantime. But I will definitely be talking to you more before we get there, Juan. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, and it's always a pleasure. Thank you, and to the team running in the background. Kudos to everyone, and thanks for everyone that joined us.
Absolutely. All right. Before we let you go, we're doing something a little new, and I'm really excited about it because would it be a Microsoft show without us talking Copilot? It wouldn't. I got a Copilot tip of you for the week from Britain coming your way.
Hi there, I'm Britton with your Copilot Tip of the Week. The future of productivity is here with Microsoft Copilot for M365. Imagine a personal assistant that understands your work, data, and needs. Microsoft Copilot uses Microsoft Graph to integrate with your tools, enhancing your workflow and efficiency. It connects your data across all Microsoft 365 services, offering personalized insights, automating tasks, and drafting documents based on your unique data. Need to draft an email? Copilot pulls in relevant info from meetings, documents, and other emails. Analyzing data? Copilot generates reports, highlights trends, and suggests next steps. With Microsoft Copilot for M365, you're not just working harder, you're working smarter.
Man, thank you so much, Britton, for taking the time for our Copilot tip of the week. And a big shout out to Juan Fernandez at SuperOps. Great show overall, a lot of stuff. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, because next week we are going to have Andy from Lookout. We look forward to seeing you then. Bye, everybody.